We are live with the profile of Moritz Reid, and it's the front face of Moritz Reid calling in to talk about something so important, because without opportunity, people don't do anything, and there's no chance for changing. And without intelligence, you're an idiot. So if I put those two words together, tell me what I have, Moritz.
Well, you have opportunity intelligence, and it's one of the key concepts for navigating change from my perspective. That's, in my perspective, is like 30 years of change, more like personal change than institutional change. But if you know a lot of organizations and either cooperate with organizations or are working within organizations, whether it's as a freelancer or as somebody who's cooperating with them, or as also as an employee, you're bound to experience change and transformation. And I noticed that opportunity intelligence is one of the key elements of navigating change.
Who created this word? And you said it's been around your bubble in Germany for about a year.
Well, I tried to find it out today. I wasn't able to. I discovered it like 1 week ago. It was by a professor who posted on LinkedIn about that, and we can share afterwards the source of the original post. And when I researched it, I noticed that more or less like 11 for the last 11 months, it's been around in my bubble in different contexts. So that was really interesting to notice.
So you were in the beginning with Holger in Change Days, and that's why we're talking now, because we're running the Barcelona Change Days. And you guys saw an opportunity to connect facilitators, change agents to create a tribe and a community. And so do you think this opportunity intelligence is in some people and not in others? Or do you think you can develop this way to see the world and see things with opportunity, not with challenges? Or it's kind of like you got it or you don't?
No, I firmly believe that you can acquire it, and I did acquire it. And I do think that I have some proneness towards that. So it started after my high school, when I really was looking for a career, and went to a psychologist and did some aptitude tests and intelligence tests and so on and so forth. And she told me, there's this curriculum in Passau. It's called intercultural business and cultural studies. And I said, okay, yeah, right, that sounds good. And so I did it. And then I said yes to a lot of things that came up that really, in the consequence, like as a chain of events, leads me towards this day and today and this interview. So I do believe you can develop that as a kind of a muscle.
So saying yes, well, since we spoke about that, we both are in the improv world. I do this little thing is yes and. So tell
Yes,
me
and
about
yeah.
the yes
Yeah,
and
well,
got you where you are, Mr. HR influencer. Tell me a little bit about that opportunity following process that you did.
Well, actually, the next step was that I was involved in student consultancy, and then a sales and marketing project shifted, and we introduced job descriptions into the sales and marketing team. So that was my first contact with HR. Then afterwards, there was this opportunity to really get into process consulting. And I did that for only a month, but still I have that experience. And then I started in another consultancy with a focus on change management and personal development. So I was part of a huge project which encompassed the training of 2,000 managers of a big corporation towards service orientation. And afterwards, I registered as a job seeker, and the owner of that business saw something in me, and she offered me to, maybe it could be an option to, after I retire, you could go on with the business.
Wow.
That actually didn't work out, but then the next step came along, and I founded a small recruitment agency with 2 partners. And when that didn't work out, I was, even while it was in the process of not working out, I was approached by an intercultural consultancy called NetExpat, and there I could use all of the things that I learned during studies, but haven't had the chance yet to apply it. And I mean, I could talk for hours in like coincidences like that. I don't believe in coincidences anymore, because you create opportunity as you go along, and either you go through the open doors or you don't.
Okay. Sorry, I like words. You create opportunities as you go. And so link that to opportunity intelligence for me. Are the opportunities always there and you have to find them, or you create them with your attitude?
It's a mixture of both, I believe. I mean, first of all, you have to recognize opportunity and recognize it as a chance and not a threat. I mean, you could always focus on the risks of opportunity and say, okay, no, that's too risky. I don't do that. But that attitude does not help to develop that muscle of opportunity intelligence. So you first have to see that there is an opportunity and think through also the opportunities that are linked to that, and not only focus on the risks that there are connected to that.
Is there like in a practical way, you know, if I think of my last 3 years, we had 2 businesses going through COVID, brand new businesses, me as a motivational speaker and my boyfriend as a hairdresser in COVID in Barcelona. And we struggled a lot. And he always found the opportunities, and he was always positive. And I was crying in the corner with a box of donuts, right? So like, I'm not good at this opportunity thing. I'm not resilient. So how much is resilience, positive outlook, connected to finding the opportunity? Or are there questions that you just ask yourself? Like, could you give me some questions that I could become more positive with?
There's one key question, and it's why not?
Okay, why not?
It's fairly simple, but most of the really profound things in life are simple.
Why not? So there's a positivity behind that energy.
Yeah, definitely. And also you can ask yourself, if you are looking at the risks, more likely is then to ask yourself, what do I have as on the positive side? What kind of resources do I have? And if I go this step and take on the risks, how can I handle it in a way that it's going to be easier?
Okay. So looking for the abilities that I already have to overcome this and to help me. So, okay.
Yeah,
So like looking
definitely.
for a support system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, that is the whole point of improv, for example, is to say yes, and first say yes, and then there might be something where we are really prone to say yes, but then if you say yes, and you have a whole new mindset and approach to that, and a mind shift as well.
Can I be a little bit like this and ask what the difference between opportunity intelligences and opportunity mindset?
Well, first of all, the intelligence part is of really recognizing those opportunities, and the mindset is really like wholeheartedly embracing that.
Okay, so bigger. The
Yeah.
ability to ask those questions is the intelligence part.
Yeah. And I mean, like in agile and in other things, I think the mindset often is more important than the method and techniques that you're using. And so it's the harder thing to acquire. It's easy to for example, acquire knowledge about agile methodologies. So, but one of the core beliefs in the agile world is don't do agile, be agile. And that is quite similar in that case. The mindset really does matter a lot.
What That's such a funny sense. Of course, like if we actually think these are like trending words, and of course words that you and all my friends use who are coming to the Change Days Festival, we all talk about mindset, but it's like it's who you are. You are your mindset. There's no separation from that. So it's like, do you see opportunity and difficulties? Great. These are the questions you can do to be intelligent about finding the opportunities when it looks like it's a tough situation. Could I?
Definitely, and as I said, it's a muscle. I mean, and it comes along in waves. I mean, I know also that those moments of, oh, I know all that stuff. I don't know all this methodology. I don't know all those approaches, and it's so hard to really implement them. So it's a journey, definitely. So for me, it's been a journey of 30 years, and now I say, I kind of am in the beginning of really applying that like consciously into daily life situations. I mean, I don't say it's necessarily does have to take you that long. I've known on this weekend, I've got to know an inspiring personality who's way younger than me, and he has that, and he developed that from being an entrepreneur from 18 years on. And I think like entrepreneurial mindset and opportunity intelligence are, for example, quite closely linked from my experience.
There's also growth mindset that people like to throw around in our world and on LinkedIn. And I think there's all these mindset talks. Like we're all in the trend where I guess we call ourselves change agents on varying degrees. And because this conference is about habit changing, because research has shown in my Gleek community, we're a bunch of mentors and trainers, the founder, she brought out this article that says habits are what need to be changed. Mindsets don't actually, a mindset is different. I could have my mindset, but if my habits haven't reflected my mindset, there's no change in my behavior, and then thus no change in how I feel. And how so hard to change because it's hard to go to the gym. It's hard.
Sure.
So how do you have had to in HR, you work with people with difficulties and you solve things for them. You've had to change habits, that you've had to help people change their habits. What do you find that really helps them? Is it motivation? Is seeing the opportunity? And is it forcing them? Is it money? Is it you do a sing and dance with them? You listen to them? How do you help people change?
First of all, you have to work with resistance a lot. And I was recently in a nice podium discussion about sustainability and change, and a really renowned vice chancellor of the KIT, the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, said that what is like the success factor in transformations, and she said it's like working with resistance. And why do have people resistance? Because they are afraid of what comes, because they don't feel seen, because they don't feel valued, because they have an important point of view that they can contribute. But really, a lot of times management does not listen to that. For example, I mentioned this project when I started as a student consultant in sales and marketing. And we confronted resistance right from the start. So we had all those beautiful ideas on how to approach ideas for product development, and we went to, like figuratively speaking, into a nice wall. Well, when we noticed that, we talked about it. And what came out of it was like, oh, well, our boss worked with consultants a couple of times before, and what they did was making a lot of noise, and the only specific outcome was that our Christmas bonuses was cut.
Oh, no.
I mean, of course, then people don't like consultants. They don't like change, because if they're not heard, and once we dived into that and really talked about, okay, we are not going to work like this. We really want to have a dialogue process. We are the experts for the process. We are not experts on, croissants, because it was like what's the English word for that? It was like in commerce for so that they develop products that were refrigerated products that in bakeries are just heated.
Oh, yeah.
So that kind of business. And the project was really about developing ideas for new products. And we went first, we encountered that kind of resistance. But then when we were able to build trust, and that, I think that's a key success factor as well, when we established trust, the project went along like splendidly. And actually, half of the ideas came from the sales experts, and half of the ideas came from us as consultants. We did new twists and structured things a little bit. But actually, half of the work was done by the employees, because they had the knowledge about their business and their industry. We didn't have that. We just were the process specialists.
So in a practical way, can you just ask people, or did you just ask those people, hey, what is your resistance to having us consultants here? And they said A, B, and C?
Well, more or less. I mean, that's a project that I did like over 20 years ago. So I don't recall exactly how we approached that, but it was so obvious that they didn't want to cooperate. And they did say it quite explicitly after we started to think, okay, that's very strange. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And from that feeling, we started to talk about that.
I'm thinking personally, because I do these interviews and this festival for selfish reasons, because I want a tribe, because I sit at home a lot and I have some habits that I need to change. I told my mom I'm doing an unconference on changing habits. She's like, are you teaching those people how to have new habits when you don't make your bed and clean your room? I'm like, no. That's why I'm bringing in brains like Moritz to help me. So if I'm looking at like my own personal habit changing, what I'm hearing for you is,
are you still with me? I don't hear you anymore. Hello? Jessica? Jessica, are you still with me? Okay, I guess we have lost Jessica for the moment. So hopefully she will be back.
yeah,
Okay. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, it just stopped and it did this spinning thing for both of us. And I thought,
okay, right.
Strange. I wonder if it was my mom being like, don't talk badly about me.
Might be. You never know.
She is downstairs. I spend summers with her, and that there's there's resistance, of course. And so, what do you have for this resistance with habit changing for people?
Well, actually, you have to go through the pain of failing. I mean, I a couple of years ago, actually, when I was during that time when I was in Berlin and starting to build or trying to build a freelance kind of portfolio for myself. I was thinking about also to do some of those coachings concerning getting things structured. And my wife told me, "You seriously? The most chaotic person I know?" And yeah, of course, because that was the specific pain that I was feeling, that I didn't get along so well in concerning all this organizational stuff. So I bought a lot of books and read a lot of books concerning that. And I mean, like, it's a little bit like like this fake it till you make it idea, what was in my mind. So if I teach things and apply those things primarily in the first step to myself, then it might be a great journey towards being a more orderly person. Didn't work out because the whole freelancing thing didn't work out, and there we can make the connection to the change days, actually, because that was quite an interesting situation where the change days came into being, because actually I went to Berlin for an art of hosting training. And it's a really nice framework, and I do recommend everybody out there to really look into it. But that's not the topic of this talk. So, and during that kind of training, I got to know the Impact Hub in Berlin. And the Impact Hub by then was run by a group of people, and they clearly had a lot of conflict. And I went into the hosting team of that co-working space dedicated to help social entrepreneurs. And actually, the organization was in deep financial trouble. So actually, the Berlin Change Days was an attempt to fix that. And it was actually an attempt to fix that failed. So there was bankruptcy for the organization. But, however, Holger came up with that idea as one way to probably save that, and it didn't work out, but it was the start of the Berlin Change Days, actually.
Wow. 2015, if I'm correct?
No, 2009 it was. Yeah.
15. Oh, yes. Oh, I keep saying that 15 editions has happened.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. It's nice to hear the beginning of the story, because I've been involved with Change Days like 6 years now.
Yeah.
Co-hosting with Holger when it was online, bringing a little bit of the fun energy. And now, you get involved in something and you never know what will happen. And then Brigitte said last year we were in Berlin. She says, "Jessica, why don't you host it in Barcelona?" And I said, "Well, will all your friends come? Because I'm a newbie." And it's shaping up to, it's great to have people like you who are there in the beginning come onto this talk with me. And we have Bernd Gibson. I just interviewed him, and he's listening in right now. And it was so fun to talk to him. And I don't know, I guess good things shift. Good things shift into new good things, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's the opportunity. The Impact Hub didn't survive, but something new obviously grew out with all those people.
Well, and actually, Impact Hub did survive, but it changed owners and the people that run the Impact Hub. And funnily enough, I visited Impact Hub Berlin, and it's like a global community of Impact Hubs, and the Berlin one is one of them. So also the Impact Hub did not die. Only the I don't know the word Genossenschaft in English, but the Genossenschaft that ran the society that ran the Impact Hub went into bankruptcy, and actually that was my first total loss as an investor. So I was also a member of and it really spontaneously was became member of the Genossenschaft, and lost my money, and not only lost my money because I also lost the receipt that I had paid the money. So when it went into bankruptcy, like the people that handled the deorganization of the Genossenschaft went to me and said, "Okay, we haven't in our books that you have paid, so I paid twice." Because I couldn't prove it that I had already paid, because I paid in cash.
Oh, what a horror!
Well, that's what you call in Germany Lehrgeld, learning money. So I do think in the end it was good invested money. Anyways, well, yeah.
Your wife said you're not so organized, so I suppose that story kind of maybe.
Yeah, actually, I hope she doesn't listen to that. So, but that's something that she doesn't even know.
Oh, seriously! Ooh. Wow, you're brave. You're like, honey, you know why I didn't buy you any nice jewelry for our anniversary that year? What? And while the kids went to summer camp at the neighborhood park?
Well, actually, the kids weren't born yet, so no. That story, no. But actually, we weren't even married by then, so well, it's okay. I think
it's okay. You know, when people marry personalities like ours, they ask for a little bit of chaos, don't they? Because we're yes ending all the time. There's un dicho, there's an expression. Those who say yes are rewarded with a life of adventure. Those who say no are rewarded with a life of security.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's an adventure to say yes and to things that don't work out, that go bankrupt, that entrepreneurships that don't work, barbershops that almost fail, businesses that don't take off very quickly, and still keep going and see the opportunity in those failures. What else can you do? If you don't do that, you sit at home and cry. Really, you need to have opportunity intelligence.
Yeah, really. But I mean, why are you the host right now of Barcelona Change Days? I mean, you have opportunity intelligence. If not, then you wouldn't have done it, and you wouldn't have converted yourself into the organization, a part of the organizational team of Barcelona Change Days. And I mean, it's like a huge transformation to go from Berlin to Barcelona.
Is it?
And very brave one, actually, as well.
Oh, I was a little bit nervous. Tell me more.
Well, I guess so. I mean, the good thing is that it's not really the first time that Berlin Change Days goes abroad. I was a participant of one of the last times. Was it 3 years ago when it was a joint event with the Toronto Change Days? So there's Toronto Change Days. So I mean, it's like really amazing that something that started as a failed
fundraiser, no?
failed fundraiser, yeah. That it went international, and now it's in Australia, it's in Toronto, it changes places from Berlin to Barcelona. So that's really an amazing story.
So Olger, this year, I guess it was December last year, he mentioned that he would like to pass it on to the future generations. And so he stepped down from Change Days. And Brigitte and Melanie Zucker, perhaps do you remember them?
Brigitte, I do believe. Yeah. Melanie, I do not think that I do know her. Yeah.
Perfect. So they're now kind of leading that up, and we're doing something in Berlin on December 14th. I know you can't attend our Barcelona weekend, but that also is an option if you want to jump back in. And everyone who's listening, there is a Change Days happening in November in Toronto. Well, it's online, so anyone can go. And in Australia, they're doing August 22nd to the 21st, and that's an online conference. Only ours in Berlin, Barcelona is live. So if you are in Europe, well, hello, come join the tribe.
I can definitely recommend it because it's such a wonderful community. When I came back, I attended the first one, and I was more like in that organizational role, and then like really from the sessions, I almost didn't experience anything except the change performance that I did with Jutta and Boris Goldhammer from the Academy of Visionautic. That was spectacular, and I really do remember that really fondly. It was really a crazy. We don't know what we're doing, but we are doing it wholeheartedly, and it was a really nice experience actually. And then I came back I do think it was 3 years ago, and I felt immediately at home again. So it was such a wonderful crowd, and it blended in between Berlin and Toronto. So we we started online in the Berlin Change Days, went to Toronto and back. It was spectacular and really such a nice crowd, and I can wholeheartedly recommend to participate. And it's really a pain that I can participate in Barcelona. I've been to Barcelona a couple of weeks ago. Actually, my son right now is near Barcelona. He's abroad for the first time. So big transformational journey for him as well. Yeah, so really an absolute recommendation. If you have time and the resources, then go there. It will be great.
Thank you. This has really turned out into like a 360 talk, pieces of everything, pieces of your life, getting to know you more, and talking about the resistance that we have when we want to shift habits, how in organizations, if we don't listen to the people that we want to change, if we can be honest, and the things we want to do, if there's no listening, it doesn't happen anyway. And so it's really great to see your organizational views on habit changing, and then also the personal ones of seeing opportunities through your entrepreneurship, through working with Change Days as the fundraiser, and then in the role that you have now. And thank you for your wonderful words about Change Days. Hopefully that will encourage you and Bernd's friends to come, Change Days fans. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dankeschön.
You're very welcome, and I will gladly come back every time that I'm invited. So I hope this will not be the last conversation.
Okay, it shall not. Tschüssi. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.